Hello YouTube, Shadow Hero 90 here. This is a new series I'm going to be doing called Sexism in Movies and TV. You see, the reason I do this is not because there's just sexism in the shows that I watch, but a lot of fictional characters kids see as role models and want to grow up to be like them. And although I don't really have a list of actual jerks, well, every boy needs a good role model. And this is really more of a list of fictional jerks that without a good role model, well, a lot of young boys could grow up to be just like. And since we don't want any of, well, not just American youth, but the children of any country or gender to grow up to be like, well, real live versions of the jerks on that list, that's why I'm doing this series and essentially pointing out double standards, hypocrisy, and how many TV shows and movies have degenerated into piles of misandric garbage. Note, I do like certain shows. I like most of the shows on this list, and it's not so much as a criticism. Well, it kind of is, but there are parts where these shows need to be improved. Well, if you're wondering, well, this is pretty much why the series as a whole got started. You see, the reason I created sexism in movies and TV was because as a child, I was the only one who noticed the blatant sexism basically in movies and TV. And it basically all started with game commercials such as Connect 4, when the girl would always win. When, if anything, it should have been random, and not one of those game commercials when it was a girl against a boy, did they ever let the boy win? Which kind of does set up the idea, subconsciously in the boy's mind, that all men are losers, when in reality, they're not. I know that this isn't a TV show or a movie, but in this episode of Sexism in Movies and TV, I'm going to be ripping apart the sexist commercial produced by Gillette. Okay, one, they are complete idiots who have jumped on the toxic masculinity bandwagon, and two, they're insulting their core audience, or in this case, core demographic. The people who watch this commercial that this is supposed to be advertising their product to, they are outwardly insulting them. 11 seconds in, and we see a loser being chased by a horde of bullies. In the past, bullies were nothing more than an obstacle, and the truth is that I'm pretty sure Gillette doesn't know a single fucking thing about bullies. If the weak little wimp here just runs away and takes it, then the bullies will be convinced that they can get away with it time and time again. We were actually told the truth, that the only way to get rid of a bully is to stand up to him. And we also were told the truth, not these lies, that if you just sit back and take it, then the bully will just keep harassing you, beating you up, and essentially cramming his fist down your throat for fun because he knows that he's gonna get away with it. In Elf's second season, they did an episode called Hit Me With Your Best Shot about bullying. And in this episode, Willie beats up the father of the bully who was picking on Brian. Now, this was meant to be satirical, because Willie, at the end, well, he kind of says that what he did was wrong, even though this guy was being a jerk, and the joke of it was that Willie himself was setting a bad example for his son by not doing anything. The bully was the one who started it by insulting the mother, calling her fat, old, and dumb. And Willie may have been the one who hurled the first punch, but it was coming from a good place. As the audience, we knew it was satirical, and that the joke is that Willie is actually setting a bad example for Brian by acting in this manner. Willie actually stood up to the bully, or in this case, the father of the bully, which in real life is the right thing to do. If you do not, you'll end up getting the crap kicked out of you. 16 seconds in, and they instantly mention cyberbullying. Cyberbullying, as far as I'm aware of, is more of a female problem than it is a male problem. And a male bully is more likely to punch you in the face than a female bully. And unless this is foreshadowing Gillette releasing razors made to shave women's leg hairs, I don't really see why this should even be in the ad. What's the first thing that you think someone will tell a kid who's being bullied? And they'll say, tell a teacher. The reality is that a teacher cannot do anything to protect someone against a bully, realistically. They may be able to protect the weak little nerds in school, but in places like social media, the neighborhood, or any other urban area, especially if the bully lives close to the nerd, if the bully tells the teacher, they will get punished, but at a certain point, the bully is going to track down the nerd and beat the ever-living fuck out of him. 20 seconds in, and there are a bunch of TV clips of women getting catcalled. Yeah, I would say that is kind of rude, but I'm pretty sure that women calling men pigs constantly and, jumping on this whole toxic masculinity thing is a lot more ruder. I mean, feminists have treated men like garbage since the 1960s. That's far more impolite than catcalling. 29 seconds in, and we instantly get a joke about rich guys who cheat on their wives with their female employees. Okay, in a previous episode of Sexism in Movies and TV, I debunked something similar to this. I debunked the whole men can cheat on their wives thing. 'Cause the truth is they can't. And yeah, 29 seconds in, we already got a joke shoving that myth down our throats with this guy who clearly had sex with this woman cheating on his wife. And shit like this is what led to the Me Too movement. And if you haven't been keeping up with the corporate world, the ultimate backlash of the Me Too movement was men, essentially the type that this commercial is insulting, actually banning women, i.e. leeches like this bitch, from the workplace. But hey, Gillette, if you want to scare all the CEOs into not hiring women, while at the same time trying to please those same women, then go ahead. 40 seconds in, and they say that we're constantly making excuses using the old line, boys will be boys, talking about sexual allegations, an obvious allusion to the Me Too movement. Like I said before, the Me Too movement is turning the workplace upside down, and eventually these corporations who do a lot for us are going to want every single woman kicked out of its workforce. They're not going to hire women, and in a possible future, possibly this might happen, if some feminist cunt decides that she's going to sue a corporation for not hiring her, they will countersue, take all the examples and reasons as to why they wouldn't hire her, and win the case in court. 55 seconds in, and we get our first traitor, Terry Crews, a former NFL player. And by him saying these exact words, men need to hold other men accountable, implying rape, actually gives the false implication that men don't hold each other accountable when it comes to rape. Believe me, that one is a load of shit. 58 seconds in, and this beta male jackass shames this guy with a camcorder for asking this attractive girl to smile. Nothing sexual was even implied. And I have two answers for this one. 1. Sex sells. Answer 2 comes in the form of a question. If this was the other way around, and some woman with a camcorder wanted to film some muscle-bound man creature who's just wearing a pair of boxer shorts, I don't think that some beta female pig would get upset about it. So yeah, there's a lot of hypocrisy in this one. Okay, 1 minute and 4 seconds in, and they comment that even talking 1 minute and 4 seconds in, and they imply through their words by saying, say the right thing, that even talking to a woman is somehow sexual harassment. And it is kind of racist that the man they imply is the aggressor is white, and the man who just jumps in front of them saying, hey, stop, is a black guy. But then again, we're living in 2019, where the jackass liberal media has brainwashed the idiot public into thinking every white man is a racist, sexist monster. And then this beta jackass says, oh, not cool, not cool. He didn't even know what the guy was going to say. imagine saying this in real life. If this happened in real life and the white guy decked this black jackass, I'm pretty sure the white guy would be in the right, even though our asshole fake news media would be more than willing to paint this white guy as a monster, even though technically this is kind of the black guy harassing the white guy. Okay, 1 minute and 16 seconds in, we got a black guy getting his daughter to say that she's strong. And then we get and then these two boys who are roughhousing, the dads jump in and pull them off. It really sounds like Gillette wants girls to grow up to be boys and boys to grow up to be girls. 1 minute and 32 seconds in, and they say the boys of today will be the men of tomorrow, implying that we're setting a bad influence for little boys. Yes, this is a crappy piece of toxic masculinity propaganda. And then it says it's only by challenging us to do more. Do more is a very good question. How do we do more? Maybe do more could include think for your goddamn self. And then they say we are taking action at thebestmencanbe.org. Bullshit. This is the worst men can be. This is nothing more than Gillette hopping onto the toxic masculinity bandwagon. And you want to know the truth? Nothing about toxic masculinity is toxic. Nothing about masculinity is toxic, period. Another harsh truth is the fact that toxic femininity, the inverse of toxic masculinity, the one that we're all told doesn't exist, well, the truth is, toxic femininity began when the Dark Ages ended, and women have been toxic ever since. From the end of the bloody Dark Ages to 2019, the female gender has been 100% toxic and fucked up. Gillette. Fuck them. Hashtag boycott Gillette.